Ready?
Go, Justin.
Oh, that's good.
So, there's a lot of usability rage out in the world. This guy is obviously experiencing it, and he just came into it. His first thing, he just comes out and just, you know, things just weren't usable for him. So as we look around, let's start making things a little more usable at the beginning here, and hopefully just continue that throughout our whole lives, that whole track. So let's start in the hospital, let's start with healthcare, let's make that a little more usable, and then let's just work out from there. I mean, rage, it's all the time, and it's all the rage as well. So you can understand, you know, how much synergy there is between user-centered design and usability rage. And you thought road rage was bad. I mean, wait till there's some guy trying to open a door with his right hand and it's a left-only door. I mean, I can't stand that. Walking into Walmart and you have to enter on the left. It's terrible. So I go to try to get this amazing product because this OMG Flash banner led me here. And I get here and I'm not really sure where I should go on this page. And it's things like this that bring out so much rage in me every day trying to do this. And I love how this is really just sort of labeled, so I know what I'm looking at. Like the giant triangle means play. And because if not, this is what you get. You get angry mobs. And it's tough on the internet because you don't see the angry mobs lining up outside your doorstep anymore. So in medieval times, usability rage was easy to see. I mean, there were just beheadings, and there was pitchforks. So what is the modern pitchfork? Where does that show up? You know, it doesn't look like this anymore. There's not as many mutinies. There's not as much pillaging. Or is there? So, as you can see, you have actual rage versus perceived, as it's graphed out here. So there's a lot of perceived rage, but the actual is a little lower. And maybe that's because of sort of the internet's filtering settings. So you don't know it, but built into most of your routers is something called a firewall. Where do you think that name came from? What do you think happened in medieval times? They were burning villages to the ground. So we decided at some point to get smart and start building walls that 6-person bicycles could not go through, nor could angry mobs. Neither of them can get through. So that's a little bit of history about the firewalls that you're finding on your routers. And so when you get all these people on here, and they're all moving towards your site, they're all moving towards your product, and they want to get it, but you're putting all these barriers in the way. So when you look at, I mean, these are some obvious barriers, all right? Right here. I mean, you have people controlling your news, you have people controlling, you know, 31% of the world's women. And yeah, so it's time that we start listening to the mobs of people who are running these marathons towards our products and really understand what they want and how to reduce that rage. So, you know, it's about the whole cycle and all the way through, and just bring that down a little bit so that people can just be happy again. And it's amazing what happens when you listen, and that's actually why when you saw, you know, people like this who, you know, I believe there's an old story about how wrinkles really come from usability rage. And if you look at most of the people in America over the age of 60, they have a lot of wrinkles. Where do you think those came from? Years of built-up usability rage throughout time. Products like lawn darts, just creating all kinds of problems and not really solving, not really becoming, you know, user-focused. So in conclusion, the point I want to make here is that you might not see people with pitchforks outside your company today, but they're out there and they're angry, and there's a really simple solution, and it's really just time we just get back to the user, reduce the rage, and just get back to the happy place where everyone was just sort of dancing in the streets and everything was great. So thank you.
All right, so basically what I need you to do is I need you to put all these together, and by a show of applause, we can decide. Why don't you get on one side? Can you go with each category? Or just overall? So just overall, show of applause for Jake. Justin.
Yeah.
I think it's Justin by a hair. Congratulations.
Just like boxing.
Perfect high five.
All right, thank you all for sitting through the alpha test of BDW's BattleDecks. This will be recurring throughout Idea Studio, which happens every other Wednesday here. Same time, same great place. So next up, we have Dan Vians doing a Pechakucha style presentation. And I'm going to go ahead and let him take it away.